Thanks, Nisa. I'm Teana Baker Taylor, and I'm delighted today to be joined by Patrick Huesser, Senior Trader at Crypto Finance AG. Hey, Patrick.
Hello, Tina. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. So, Patrick, tell us what's happening in the markets this week.
We have seen quite some trading activities across the globe, especially Asian accounts are quite bullish on the major, I would say, top 5 coins. There is some spot of physical buying going on, but there is also some derivatives buying across various currencies going on. So the mood is quite positive at the moment.
Yeah, the market does seem like it's been pretty buoyant over the last week. And, yesterday to not a huge amount of fanfare given the other news that's going on at the moment. Bitcoin finally crested $10,000. It's back down a little bit this morning, but what do you think that caused the spike?
We were following that market structure quite closely, and it was very interesting to see that the push came out of derivatives. So we have seen open interest spiking up, and the funding on perpetual swaps went to crazy levels, which is usually a sign that it's kind of a blow-off top. And that's what exactly happened then in the end. It reached almost 10,500, and then some sell orders came in, and the buyers were just weak because they had used all their firepower to push it above the 10K level. And then it's just a normal day in crypto. We go $1,000 lower and then start to consolidate over the next 12 hours. And now I think the market has repositioned themselves a little bit, regrouped, and the next move will be around the corner, I'm pretty sure.
And how did that affect some of the other coins sitting at the top of the league table? You mentioned the top 5. What did this? How did this impact them?
The usual behavior in this market, when there is a strong move of the king, we call it BTC, then you see that all the other coins are moving in lockstep. The correlation is very high, and that hasn't really changed over the past few years, actually.
Okay. And were there any other surprises over the last week that you found interesting?
Yeah, well, it surprises me that Ethereum is holding so well. If you look at the cross Ethereum BTC, then it's just in a steady upward movement. And there are a lot of topics out there. Obviously, their Ethereum 2.0 launch, which is somewhere in the future, but it's a topic that is getting discussed quite frequently.
Yeah.
And some smart money guys are looking at those coins, or BTC and Ether, and they're now quite happy, starting to switch from BTC into Ether, and that seems to give Ether that bearish tone over the past few weeks, even months.
Okay, so looking ahead this week, we've seen in the past that sometimes traditional markets, even though the crypto market is largely uncorrelated, news within traditional markets can impact the crypto market. The ECB is meeting this week on Thursday to discuss possibly increasing their pandemic fund, so another round of possible quantitative easing coming out of the ECB. What impact do you think that might have on the market next week?
It is a difficult question to answer, and I need to answer it in several steps. Short-term wise, Bitcoin or crypto will move like risk-on assets. So if the ECB decision is triggering a rally in equities, which is then risk on, BTC will probably profit from that as well. And vice versa, if the ECB is disappointing, then markets sell off in equities, then BTC might as well come lower. QE in the medium to long term really needs to have an effect on BTC. I'm convinced it will have. It will have a positive impact on Bitcoin, because it will just strengthen the core value, the core store of value Bitcoin has. But that needs time. You will not see that at an ECB decision, or even when the Fed was pulling another QE round out of their hats. BTC wasn't at that time very impressed. It just went risk on with all the other assets after the decision. But in the medium to long term run, I think we will see a decorrelation of store of value assets really gaining compared to more like the fiat side of things.
Okay. Patrick, thanks so much for joining us this week.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Take care.